The Writers and Artists Yearbook has come to be known as the Bible of the publishing industry. It has a very long history. It was first published in 1906, originally intended to help new writers and illustrators break into the world of publishing. Since then, as the publishing industry has evolved, so has the Writers and Artists Yearbook, and it is now a very large, 822 pages long, part directory filled with contacts for the publishing industry, as well as almost 100 articles, all written by successful authors, literary agents, as well as publishing insiders and experts, all offering their own brand of encouragement, advice, as well as practical information. Between the pages of the yearbook, you can find out all about the people and the processes involved in the publishing industry. You can find out the best way to approach publishers, how to find a literary agent, how to write a synopsis, as well as advice on contracts and issues such as copyright and even social security benefits. The list really does go on, and I do think that the Writers and Artists Yearbook has so much information that it really is a resource that no writer should be without. I've been the editor of the Writers and Artists Yearbook for 8 years. So I've been responsible for 8 editions of the main yearbook and 7 editions of the Children's Writers and Artists Yearbook. I love my job because I get to talk to publishers, agents, published authors, some very successful, and unpublished authors. And even though I'm not a writer myself, I do understand how a manuscript becomes a book. And so I get to see how life is on both sides of the fence. What the yearbook has, which no other book of its kind does, is no shortage of successful authors who are willing to contribute to the book. And I think this is because so many of these authors read the yearbook when they were first starting out, and many of them cite it as having played a significant part in achieving their success. For instance, Maeve Binchy refers to the yearbook as a magic carpet. Terry Pratchett says it's much, much better than luck, and J.K. Rowling said it contained all the answers to all her questions. These writers and many others, such as Alexander McCall Smith, Ian Rankin, Joanna Trollope, Mark Billingham, Neil Gaiman, Kate Moss, they've all made use of the yearbook and continue to use it. And I do think that the yearbook contains information that writers need at any stage of their career, and I suppose, let's face it, all those successful writers can't be wrong. Every edition of the yearbook is completely updated. Every entry is contacted for new information. Every article is updated by its author. This year the foreword is written by John Boyne, the author of the best-selling and award-winning book The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. We also have new articles by the very funny Kathy Lett, the highly acclaimed Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, literary agent Simon Trewin, Alexander Pringle, the editor-in-chief of Bloomsbury, and Nicholas Clee, author and publishing journalist. The yearbook could really just keep growing in size, and it's quite difficult really to sort of keep it to a manageable number of pages, otherwise writers wouldn't be able to carry it around. Fortunately, we have the website to share the burden of content, and so I think the website and the book really work in conjunction, and between the two of them there's an awful lot of information to be found. I give talks at literary festivals, as well as our own Writers and Artists Yearbook conferences. And the one thing that I always encourage inspiring writers to do is to get clued up about the publishing industry. Because publishing is a business, and getting to grips with how that business operates would really help writers to understand what publishers are looking for. So for instance, I might suggest to an unpublished writer to really look at their potential market and ask themselves the all-important question: are there people out there that want to read what I have written? And it isn't a case that agents and publishers want you to jump through hoops for them, not at all. All agents and publishers share a common quest, and that's to find the next bestseller. They're all looking for an author who has passion for their work and the dedication to get their work into print, and of course the talent to have written a book that will sell. If a writer has all those things, then any agent, publisher and published writer will tell them to keep going, to keep reading, to keep writing, and most of all to keep submitting.